video is not intended for minors. This video is intended for adults 18 and above. Anything you see in this video, do not attempt or do not try at home without adult supervision if you are under the age of 18. If you're over the age of 18, still use caution and common sense. Thank you. The products you see in this video are not sponsored. They're products that I've bought myself and used and found them to be likable. So I'm sharing them with you in case you want to buy the product and use it yourself. Thank you. I'm going to do a review on this Hitachi C12 RSH laser guided sliding compound miter saw. This miter saw is 1,520 watts, belt driven. When you want a miter saw, you want one that's belt driven. I also have one that is not belt driven that is smaller than this one. This one here is a 12-inch blade. It's got a big blade. Very large cutting capacity. It also has extendable, it has this holder here. I won't show you on this side, so I'm going to loosen that. But both sides can be let down for extended wood to hold your wood better for longer pieces, or you can put it up, and its extended height allows you to cut molding, base molding that goes around the floor, the ceiling, without having to lay it down. You can stand it up on its side. So instead of laying the molding down flat, you can stand it up and cut it. So say you want to cut on another compound saw, you want to cut a miter that's up like this. Well, on another saw that may be hard to do because you don't have these extended bars. So you have to lay it down, which you can still cut it like that. But if you can stand it up, it'll be much easier if you stand it up. And this saw can actually cut through this way because it's got a 12-inch blade. It's laser guided. It has positive stops also. And it has also this, so if you unlock it, this locks it in or unlocks it. If you unlock it, you can actually turn this dial. Say one of your angle doesn't fall on any of these stops here. Well, you can just tune it in if you want to. Just tune in your cut. It has positive stops when you turn it. It's positive stop at 22.5, 45, and 0. And the 0. It goes to 45 degrees on this side, it cuts 45 degrees on this side, and it cuts all the way up to 60 degrees on this side for a very large cut. The C12 RSH, Hitachi doesn't sell this saw anymore, but it's a really good saw. This is a Cadillac of sliding compound miter saws, but it is very expensive. This saw, brand new, not used. This saw cost me, when I got this in Germany, it was brand new, and it cost over $1,000, but it's worth every penny. Comes out of the factory with everything set and aligned perfectly. Extremely powerful, tough, rugged saw. But Hitachi does make the C10 FHB and other 12-inch sliding compound miter saws. And what I also like about this sliding compound miter saw is it has two ways of sliding out the cut. It has two ways of sliding out the blade for cutting. If you want to put it against a wall and not worry about having to put the saw too far away from the wall, then you can line it like this, and then when you pull it, see, you still got your, it's not moving back, only the front of the saw is moving. But if you want the whole thing to move back, you can undo the back one like this, and the front one also. See, and then lock this one back, and you see that it slides backwards. The whole thing slides. But the purpose of the whole thing sliding from time to time is sometimes you'll put a piece of wood in there where you don't want this thing here to be in the way. So it's good to use the back slide instead of the front slide. But I always use, when I can, I always use the front slide to get away with it. The dust collection on this is pretty good. It's not perfect. There's no dust collection on anything perfect, but it's really good. You want to keep your sliding bars oiled because they will rust. There's no rust on these. The saw's made really good. The hand grip is up and down instead of side to side. So that's no problem. It has a lock. No, it does not have a lock on it either. It has this here where you can slide this. You can move this out. Turn this, and you can also change the height of this thing, so it will stop your cuts. It's stopping the blade from going all the way down. That way, if you want to make a controlled cut at a certain depth, this here will stop this from going all the way down. You can back it up, it'll go down farther. Back it up, it'll go down farther. Back it up, it'll go down farther. But if you don't want to use it at all, slide it out of the way. The saw goes down to the maximum cut capacity to cut your wood completely in half. But you can also make scoring cuts. This is a sliding compound miter saw. It means you can make compound cuts. It means you can turn the blade, the saw to this way, to the side, but you can also turn the saw, but you can't get it undone. You could also turn the saw. You could also turn the saw left and right. So this one. You could also turn the saw. This is a, get it undone. So you can also turn the saw this way or this way, and you can dial in like this too. By turning this, you can also dial in. And that's why they call it a sliding compound miter saw, because you can cut at an angle this way and also at an angle this way. So that's why it's a compound saw. You can do it either way. So with that in mind, your cuts on your saw will be perfectly straight. Like I said, cuts like that are mostly for molding. If you want to cut at an angle like that, you can do a 45-degree angle like that. If you want to, it's not, you don't have to do it exactly for molding. Change the blade on this. You have to remove these screws, take this off, and to remove the blade, you turn it to the right to remove the bolt, not to the left. Right removes it, left takes it off and unloosens it. So this is a powerhouse of saws. This thing can run any other saw into the ground. If it comes to a choice between buying this and that Festool, I had a choice. I could have bought the Festool or this one in Germany, and I chose this one because I don't care what people say, because people don't know everything. But this saw is a lot better than that. The blade has a stop on it. The blade has a stop gear on it, which doesn't work every time. So when you move this up and down, this automatically moves.
Where's the power button?
The power button is right here, right there. So you put your hand in here, the power button's here. When you put the wood in, I'm going to use this piece of red mahogany. It's a little bit dirty, but it don't matter. We're not doing this for a beauty contest. I'm showing you how a saw cuts. Put the wood in. You can use this thing here to hold it down if you want. Which I wasn't going to use this to hold it down, but I'll use it just for show. You want to back it off and pull it up. You don't want this thing. All right. So when you use the saw, you can plunge it down. You don't want to just rip this thing in there. You want to take your time with it. So when you cut, because this is longer than the cutting capacity, so you're going to have to move out. If you're cutting a piece of wood that you don't need the slider to lock everything in, it won't slide, it goes straight up and down. But if you're cutting a piece of wood like this where you have to slide, do it like that. And never put your saw down and go forward with it on the wood, because it's not the way it cuts. I don't care if you see other morons doing it that way or not. Start the saw, let it get the power. Score it a little bit going back, because this is a thick piece of wood. And then cut it. Now I can take this piece, make a knife handle out of it, do what I want with it. You can see how good that mahogany looks on the inside. It's still a good piece of wood. I'm actually going to use this for something. So if you want the sliding compound miter saw, like I said, you can't get these anymore, but you can get the sister saw to these. Hitachi makes more than one other sliding compound miter saw now that's 12 inch, and I'm pretty sure you can get. I'm pretty sure they make one that's also belt driven. Also, but the reason they say they don't sell these anymore is the price of this thing. But if you ever find one of these, and even if it's used, if it's not destroyed, if it still works perfectly. Check the motor, the belts on it, and change the belt. But check everything on it, make sure it works, and if you ever find one of these, grab it. Because these things are, if something ever happens to this saw, that'll be a sad day for me, because this is Hitachi's best saw that we've ever made. This thing would definitely be missed. I put this thing, I've owned this saw here for, I don't know how many years, but I put this thing through hell and back, and it's never, not once, had a problem with it. But I have a Skill 10 inch. I've had problems with that one. But the only problem, I've never had any electrical problems or anything with the Skill. The only problems I've had with the Skill was the fence. And if you want to use the laser on it, the button is right here. Just turn on the button, the laser comes on. The laser is right here. And you could actually adjust.
I can't see that.
You could actually adjust the laser to the right or left side. according to what side you want to cut. But I never use that laser. Some people use a laser. I don't like using lasers. If I mark something, I don't like using the laser. Say if I want to mark the cut, then I'll mark the cut like that, and then I'll actually, if I want to keep this side, then I want the blade on this side. If I want to keep this side, I want the blade on this side. So say I'm going to keep this side here. So when I bring the blade down, like this, and I line it like this. You could even bump it a little to see where your blade's going to go, like that. So when I saw into the wood, move back and saw. So when I saw into the wood, you can see how the blade is on the back side of that pencil line, because this is the side I'm keeping. If I cut directly on the pencil line or on this side of the pencil line, then my piece of wood here is going to be too short. So whatever side you're keeping, put the blade on the other side. I'm not doing a review on this. I'm just going to show you what happened to it. To get this one out, you turn this dial, hold that down and turn that dial, and it pops up. This is a 10-inch. This thing actually needs another blade. Works fine, nothing wrong with it. But like I said, I'm not doing a review on it. It's already off. It's not even on 0. Because I used it to cut a piece of wood. This one here, the problem I had with it was this fence. When I bought this thing, it was only $300 cheap. It wasn't aligned when it came out of the factory. The fence had a bad problem with it. So actually, this fence went around in the back. And there was no way to make this side and this side level as long as this piece in the back was messed up, and there's no way to straighten it. I tried heating it and everything. So what I did was cut it through here and cut it through here and totally get rid of that back piece. The only purpose of that back piece is to direct the sawdust up in the dust collector. I can do without that. I don't care. So I cut this off and this off, and now it's aligned perfectly. That was the only way I could do it. But a saw like this here, you'll never have a problem like that with a saw like this. This one here automatically comes in 2 pieces. This is not one piece. This comes here in 2 pieces. So you can align it separately and make sure it's aligned perfect the way those other saws like that should be, but they're not. That was all one piece. And like I said, also for the price of this saw, when you buy this, you'll never have to mess with it. It comes out of the box completely 100% set up. You can use it right straight out of the box. Because that's one of the good things about buying a saw that's expensive, because they like selling people saws like that. So they help people out by making sure it's a tough, strong, durable saw, and they make sure that it's factory set before you get it. So when you take it directly out of the box, you know you can throw a piece of wood on it and start cutting right away without having to line everything up and measure everything. So that is the review for this Hitachi C12 RSH. Like I said, Hitachi makes other 12-inch saws that are good also. So if you're in the market for a compound miter saw or a sliding compound miter saw, which is better than because a regular compound miting saw goes up and down, sliding goes all the way out. So get one of these. This is a 12-inch. That's a long reach. I always try to go 12 inches on your blade. That's a big cut. And just go for Hitachi. Hitachi makes really good tools. Everything Hitachi I've owned, I've never had any problems with anything. They work fine. They're strong, powerful tools, and they get the job done. And right out of the box, ready to go. Thanks for watching. pick this thing up. But if anyone would like to sponsor my channel, I would gladly accept their sponsorship, and I would gladly do a review on any product or item that is sent to me. Again, thank you very much for watching the channel.